Hey guys, welcome to Pillbox Movies. I'm Hank, and today we're going to be watching the 1997 Japanese thriller Cure. You may remember Kurosawa from our previous Halloween installment, Pulse. I really enjoyed Pulse. I had never been exposed to Kurosawa as a filmmaker. Obviously, I know about the other Kurosawa. I know him just fine. I've seen lots of his movies. But I was taken by surprise by the kind of depth and atmosphere of Pulse. This one, Cure, is apparently about a serial killer or a mass of murders that are taking Tokyo by storm. I don't know if it's actually set in Tokyo, but a mass of mysterious murders that are taking place. So yeah, I'm excited to watch it. Maybe be freaked out by it a little. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, let's check out Kiyoshi Kurosawa's Cure. Oof. Again, very kind of like underlit, underexposed cinematography. We definitely saw this a lot. That sucks. We definitely saw this a lot in Pulse. But this seems to be having a much more clippy pace than Pulse. Pulse really took its time. But this kind of has like a nice, it kind of has like a nice ironic disposition, kind of in the same vein that Bong Joon-Ho would employ in Parasite 20 years later. Busy crime scene. Probably shouldn't have so many people in the room at once. That might like contaminate it, but whatever. It's a Japanese Agent K. Ooh, there's the X, and there's more stuff I have to censor. So there have been multiple murders like this. A sort of murder pandemic. America knows all about that. I mean, they could have no meaning, but they'd still have like motivation, I'd say. While we can't necessarily derive meaning from them, they do have like impetus. I like these kind of wide open compositions. You're kind of like shocked from the initial death, like it kind of takes you by surprise, and it's like so like kind of off the cuff and casual, and it kind of like it skews your perception so much that it kind of like primes you for something a little bit more intense to come later down the line. The different kills seem to have different like different feelings around them. Is he looking for somebody specific that he has to kill? I'm growing to really enjoy how distant Kurosawa keeps his camera from his subjects. Oh, look at that. The clouds are fast. Look how dark my man likes to keep his shots. His interior shots. He don't GAF at all. It's taking its sweet ass time now. Now you're building up the suspense. It brings up kind of like a really good kind of contrast because you've been primed by the first killing to like expect things to happen so expediently. When Kurosawa then like flips the table and has things happen so slowly, it's like completely agonizing. And the first exchange was like almost completely non-verbal, and this one is like painfully verbose. It's just like asking the same questions over and over again. How did he transfer into him? What's the methodology of the transfer? Marital strife. Nice. Another Kurosawa jump. So that was the husband that killed his wife. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't the stranger. Nice choice to have the windows open for a little bit of movement. This composition creates a nice triangle with the beam of light and with the him standing at the head of the bed. Is there a cultural reason people in Japan talk on rooftops? Because I'll tell you, despite what you may see in spy movies, they do not do that in America. Red as a symbol for danger. We do very, very insightful readings here at Pillbox Movies. Okay, Mamiya. About to induce somebody else to commit a murder. I love how, like, unclean this depiction, in general, Kurosawa's depictions of Tokyo are. We get a really kind of like tourism-friendly display of Tokyo in most other media, especially like, you know, kind of like American perspective on Tokyo or Japanese culture. But from the inside out, we definitely kind of see the peeled paint effect. Who's gonna see him smoke first? I'm like trying to figure out the rules, and okay, look, red again is the is his ashtray. I'm like trying to figure out the rules of like whatever this kind of like spell, for lack of a better word, that he's casting is. Like, he has to do it with one other person, so we have to wait for the third person to like leave. And it apparently has something to do with his cigarettes too. I mean, this could all be a bait and switch. He might not be involved in any way in particular, but if we take it to be that he is kind of like inciting these incidents, then each successive episode kind of gives us more insight into what the process is for this inducement. Okay, we get another turning off of a light. Okay, so the flame seems to be a method of hypnosis. Getting Jonathan Demme Manchurian Candidate vibes. I loved that shot. Because X is gonna give it to you. No more gun. Okay, so is he gonna kill a woman? Or is it okay for him to kill a man? It seems like he's gonna kill a man. You gotta love the hands behind the back. Ooh, let's show the entire scene. Do it. I love that. We're not gonna cut away. We're gonna go for the entire thing. I love that blood pack. That's good detail right there. Yes, let's show the entire scene. Damn it. Okay, so it was the detective's wife that's been undergoing psychiatric evaluations. So would this killer not be able to operate, post-cigarette laws? Nice, very subtle, like cutting out of all the sound. It sounds like a guy on a first date. Wow. Yeah, seriously? Oh, Jesus. Nice little sound cue that happened. Okay, so he's digging for like the place of the deepest place of insecurity in their lives, I'm guessing. And that's like giving impetus for them to commit these crimes. But you had a fascination of cutting into naked men, didn't you? Yeah, that's what you always wanted, isn't it? Wasn't it? You better get his prince! Ugh. There's a pulse shot right there. You hate it. It's weird. This movie is almost like, in some ways, that I'm extrapolating, obviously, but it's almost predicting the kind of disposition and behavior of people like the guy who plowed his car through like a downtown city center in Toronto or whatever. Radicalized, alt-right men. Don't let him smash that open and kill himself. Okay, so there was a specific cue. What was the cue? It's something I do when I'm stressed. Something from his childhood. Something that he saw in a show. Unsanitary place to die. I mean, I'm sure most places are an unsanitary place to die, but... I feel like Takabe takes on, like, far too many tasks on his own when he really should have, like, backup. Just a second pair of eyes. Just somebody to, like, double check his work. What's the S stand for? It's not an S. You let four people die. Kill you? I don't want to kill you. When did they take that picture? This is an interesting kind of like similar dynamic to memory memories of murder. Um, I think both Japan and South Korea are like highly punitive countries with extremely high prosecution rates, and both the this and that movie specifically is kind of about the frustrations felt by an administration or a police force that is kind of like overly used to success and a show of force in the public perception. I'd really feel bad I'd feel bad if either of them killed each other, but I would feel bad if the detective ends up like killing his dementia-addled wife, because it kind of speaks to an internal kind of, desire on his part, an unspoken desire, subconscious desire. I don't think I'd feel as upset if she did it to him. Don't forget me, I beg. I remember what you said. Like, I'd get her impulse to kill her husband. She's kind of like lost in this, yeah. She's like lost in this kind of like cycle that she can't break out of, this like feeling of imprisonment that's a result of her mental state. And so killing her husband is a means of breaking free from that. I can like relate to that in terms of like a movie protagonist or like movie characters, like their likability in our eyes. I can relate to that more than I can with the detective who like wants to like care for her wife as much as possible, but secretly harbors resentment towards her for the kind of fatigue or stress she's creating in his life. Think about this the next time you want to book an Airbnb in Tokyo. I don't like that.
Oh my god, Peter.
Is his memory getting infected now? Something's taking over. I love the sound of those Japanese trains on the like tracks and stuff. It reminds me of like the little and like intro like sound. Oh, that's unfortunate. But how's it gonna be by Third Eye Blind? We should pay attention to this though, obviously. This is fake. This is being induced. He's undergoing a hypnosis. This is really, really beautiful. There you go. Yeah, it's gonna be him killing his wife. That's unfortunate. This looks like the room from Exorcist 3. It's a different setup, obviously, but in terms of the lighting scheme. You gotta get out of there. Damn. So you should consider whether or not he has done the same to you. This is an interesting companion piece to Heat. I'd watch that. Double feature night. Cure and Heat. Why not? Because it keeps me on the edge where I need to be. I know it's not always intentional, but it is kind of weird with these like detective stories that kind of like inherently unless there's like huge intentionality otherwise, they will always have the directive of showing the police force as like the last bastion of humanity against like the great darkness that lurks in the distance, ready to consume us. I would love if Kurosawa had like the means and the technology to like just like go hog wild at like right now to create like a set piece sequence. Like if he had like, you know, Satoshi Kon animating this section, or if like he had the budget to do like a Doctor Strange kind of moment, I think he'd make great use of it. This on its own is already pretty dense and atmospheric and enjoyable, and it's like enjoyable in like a creeping, you know, low budget Japanese thriller kind of way. But I'd love to see like the huge all engulfing version of this. And this is why you don't have police conduct interrogations on their own. Also, why was Mamiya allowed to, like, keep his lighter in holding? We're going to a farm upstate. He's making an X motion. Yeah, not a lot of film back then. Silver phosphate, hard to come by. And the suppressed element comes back in new and frightening forms. Heresies. I think they've perhaps overexposed that photo. Oops. There's some nice shot composition. Okay. Nice shot. That's a nice shot. Dude, we gotta keep this Mamiya under wraps. He is very dangerous. Yeah, I actually I really enjoy how the lighting setup for the same set locations changes depending on which character perspective we're seeing it from. It kind of evokes that they're entering into these places in a kind of in a kind of expression of their mental state. Who did the lonely bachelor psychiatrist kill? Or I guess there's the implication that that Takabe killed him. Yeah, with the handcuffs, the suggestion would be that those are Takabe's. I don't always want this, but I do wish we got kind of like a path into Mamiya's psychology and his motivations a little bit more. I understand this is more focused on the psychological journey of Takabe, but this is one of those rare instances where I want lore a little bit more. I want a bit more sense of like what Mamiya's motivations are, and you know, what did he read in Mesmer in the heresies that kind of drove him to become this prophet of a new era? And what does he stand to gain from this new era other than abuse of power? So we have to remember that he's not in this whatever dilapidated warehouse. He's probably at the institute where he sent his wife. And this is like a manifestation of his like interior psychology, what he perceives is happening as opposed to what really is happening. Oh, that's cool. He's wearing his wardrobe. I am the life of the mind. I am the life of the mind. Dirty Harry over here. This movie has like beautiful dilapidation. Really, really striking looking. This might as well be Tarkovsky. That is a great shot. Great shot. Insert Blade Runner 2049. What's it called? The Vladimir Nabokov book. Oof. And now that he's finished his journey, he can finally cast off his trench coat. And he's eating steak, like he did when he was having the meltdown with his wife. And he's smoking now, which he wasn't before. Man, it's actually interesting seeing how wide open this cafeteria is from the opposite angle. Because it was so closed off from the angle of shooting him against the window. That's a great ending. Genuinely, that's a great ending. Wow. Wow. Very nice. Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting that at all. That is a great ending. Oh my god. Much better than Pulse. Wow, what a great ending. I was like, I'll be honest, I was kind of a bit middling about this movie. I think it's like really well constructed and really artful and has a great depth and sensitivity to it in terms of like personal preference of what I want out of a movie. It satisfies me abundantly intellectually, but not like emotionally, but kind of like the trickiness and the suggestion of the ending of not having this big blow up and reveal of like, oh my god, now he's become possessed and now he's killed his wife and now he's influencing other people to kill others. Just having all that suggested and intimated and not having it fully revealed was just really chilling and satisfying. So yeah, I think that was just a little bit of a emotional oomph that I needed at the end. And you know what? He achieved it by backing away from the emotions rather than stepping into them. What a tricky director Kiyoshi Kurosawa is. I really enjoyed this. I hope you did too. Let me know if there are some other Kurosawa films that I should check out. Don't say Hidden Fortress. I get the joke. Don't. Yeah. That was Cure. If you enjoyed this, click the like button and subscribe if you want to see more movies. I will see you next time. And until then, keep watching good movies.